Welcome to the feedback for the Alkali Metals quiz, which is C4.1.1. As you can see by the top, only 5 of you have responded, which is about 6 of you. The more people that respond to this, the better the feedback's going to be, so please try and complete them. Right, question 1. So, which of these atoms has the greatest atomic radii? So, radii is the plural for radius, so we're just talking about how big the atom is. So, as you go down any group, the atomic radius always increases. And if you think about the atoms, this makes sense because as you go down the group, they've got more electrons. Those electrons, each time you go down into a new period, there's a new shell of electrons, and therefore that shell is going to be further away from the nucleus. The atomic radii is going to increase down any group. So because it increases down the group, rubidium is the one of those 4 that's at the lowest at the bottom. So rubidium is the one with the greatest atomic radius. Right, question 2. Which of these elements are the most reactive? So the reactivity for group 1 metals increases as you go down the group. So again, it's rubidium, and this is linked with the first question. So as you go down the group, the atom gets bigger, which is what we looked at in question 1. And because it gets bigger, so metals are always losing electrons when they react. So if it's trying to lose that electron, if it's a small atom, then that electron that's trying to be lost is very close to the positive nucleus, so there's going to be a strong attraction to it. As the atom gets bigger, there's less attraction to that electron because the positive nucleus that it's attracted to, because remember the electron's negative, is further away and therefore it's easier to lose it. So rubidium's the one lowest in the group, so therefore it's the most reactive. And as you can see, most of you got that right. Right, question 3. When group 1 metals react, what's happening to the metal? So most of you got this right, that it's losing 1 electron. So there's 2 parts to this. Metals, when they react, are always losing electrons. So it's got to be either losing 1 electron or losing 2 electrons. And if we think back to when we looked at forming ions, the group that they're in determines how many electrons they've got in the outer shell and therefore how many electrons they lose when they react. So all of the group 1 metals have got 1 electron in the outer shell, and therefore they're going to lose 1 electron each. And because electrons have a charge of -1, if they've lost it, there's 1 more proton than electron, and therefore the charge is going to be +1. So all of the group 1s are going to lose 1 electron when they react. Right, question 4. Again, most of you got this right. When sodium reacts with water, what are the products? So when a group 1 metal reacts with water, it always forms a metal hydroxide and hydrogen. So the correct answer is sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. That's just a fact that you've got to learn. Right, question 5. Why do all group 1 elements react in a similar way? Well done, everybody got this right. So they've got the same number of electrons in their outer shell, which is why they all react in the same way. Right, question 6. Which of these properties which are typical for metals is not true for group 1 metals? Now, nobody got this right, but that's because I made a mistake in the question, and I'd put, the question is which of these properties which are typical for metals is not true for group 1 metals. So they do conduct electricity, they do conduct heat, they are malleable, so therefore they're all typical properties of metals and group 1 metals. On the original question, which nobody noticed, but I noticed when I came back to look at it, I'd actually written soft rather than hard. So group 1 metals are soft, but the typical property that you would expect from metals is that they would be hard. Right, question 7, last question. How does the density of group 1 metals change as you go down the group? So over half of you got this right. So the density increases as you go down the group, but potassium's an anomaly. There's not a way to work this out. It's just a remembering, so it's just a fact that you need to learn. Thank you for listening.